In this video, we are going to break down 3 nuclear energy stocks that could explode by 2030 as the world quietly shifts back toward one of the most powerful and reliable energy sources ever created. These are companies that dominate critical parts of the nuclear industry. One controls essential uranium supply, another builds major energy infrastructure, and the third develops highly specialized nuclear technology used by governments and utilities for decades. These businesses have durable competitive advantages and the potential to compound for years as nuclear energy becomes increasingly important to the global power grid. Hit the like button, share the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next important financial investing update. Remember to do your own research before you invest in any stock. Now let us begin with the first company. Because every nuclear reactor in the world depends on one essential resource. Without it, nuclear power simply cannot exist. That resource is uranium. And one of the most important uranium suppliers on the planet is Cameco, ticker symbol CCJ. Cameco is one of the largest uranium producers in the world and plays a critical role in supplying the fuel that powers nuclear reactors across the globe. While many investors focus on the reactors themselves, the nuclear energy system starts with uranium mining. Every nuclear plant requires uranium fuel to operate, and that means reliable suppliers are absolutely essential for the industry. Cameco has spent decades building one of the most important uranium production businesses in the world. The company's most valuable assets are located in the Athabasca Basin in Canada. This region is widely considered one of the richest uranium mining areas on Earth. The deposits in this region are extraordinarily high grade compared to most other uranium resources around the world. This matters because higher grade ore means lower production costs. When a mining company can extract more uranium from each ton of ore, it gains a powerful cost advantage. This allows the company to remain profitable during periods when uranium prices decline and also benefit significantly when prices rise. Cameco's flagship operations include the McArthur River Mine and the Key Lake Mill. These assets represent some of the most productive uranium operations in the world. McArthur River alone has historically been one of the largest high-grade uranium mines globally. Operations like these give Cameco enormous strategic importance within the nuclear supply chain. Another important aspect of Cameco's business model is its long-term contracting strategy. Many commodity producers rely heavily on the spot market, where prices fluctuate rapidly based on short-term supply and demand. Cameco takes a different approach. The company frequently signs long-term supply agreements with nuclear utilities. These contracts often span several years and provide predictable deliveries of uranium fuel. This arrangement benefits both parties. Utilities gain security because they know their reactors will have reliable access to fuel. Cameco benefits because it gains revenue visibility and greater stability in its business. This long-term contract structure helps smooth out some of the volatility that typically affects commodity markets. But what makes the Cameco story particularly interesting right now is what has been happening in the uranium market over the past decade. For many years, the uranium industry experienced extremely low investment. After the Fukushima nuclear disaster in 2011, several countries slowed or halted nuclear development. Uranium demand weakened and prices dropped dramatically. Mining companies responded by reducing production and delaying new projects. Many mines were placed into care and maintenance. Exploration budgets were cut. The entire industry scaled back investment. Now the situation is changing. Nuclear energy is returning to the center of the global energy conversation. Countries that once planned to phase out nuclear power are reconsidering those decisions. Others are planning entirely new reactor projects. But uranium supply cannot suddenly expand overnight. Building new mines takes years of development and regulatory approval. This means that if nuclear demand rises significantly, uranium supply may struggle to keep pace. When that happens, companies with existing production capacity become extremely valuable. Cameco is one of those companies. Because it already operates major uranium mines and processing facilities, it is well positioned to respond as demand grows. Another factor that strengthens Cameco's position is its involvement in additional stages of the nuclear fuel cycle. Mining uranium is only the first step. The material must be converted and processed into a form that can actually be used as nuclear fuel. Cameco participates in uranium conversion and fuel services that prepare raw uranium for use in nuclear reactors. This vertical integration allows the company to capture more value throughout the nuclear fuel supply chain. Instead of simply selling raw uranium, Cameco can participate in additional steps that utilities depend on. This strengthens the company's strategic role within the industry. Financially, Cameco has been positioning itself to benefit from improving uranium market conditions. As nuclear utilities return to the long-term contracting market, the company has been able to secure agreements that support future revenue growth. These contracts can provide steady cash flow as uranium demand strengthens over the coming years. Another potential growth driver for uranium demand comes from the development of small modular reactors. Small modular reactors are designed to be smaller and more flexible than traditional nuclear plants. They can be manufactured in factories and assembled at project sites. This approach could reduce construction costs and shorten development timelines. If small modular reactors gain widespread adoption, the number of nuclear reactors operating worldwide could increase significantly. More reactors mean more demand for uranium fuel, and that demand would directly benefit uranium suppliers like Cameco. Another advantage for Cameco is its geographic location. Canada is considered one of the most politically stable and reliable jurisdictions for uranium production. Energy security has become an increasingly important issue in global politics. Utilities prefer to secure fuel from suppliers operating in countries with strong regulatory frameworks and stable governments. Cameco's Canadian operations provide exactly that type of reliability. This makes the company an attractive partner for nuclear utilities looking to secure long-term fuel supply. When you combine high-quality uranium deposits, long-term supply contracts, vertical integration within the nuclear fuel cycle, and rising global interest in nuclear energy, it becomes clear why Cameco occupies such a powerful position in the industry. If nuclear power expands significantly over the next decade, uranium demand will likely rise alongside it, and companies that control large portions of global uranium supply could benefit enormously. Cameco is one of the few companies in the world with the scale, assets, and experience to meet that demand. Before we move on to the second company, here is something that may help you become a better investor. This video is brought to you by Value Stocks Investing Master Course. If you're looking to grow your wealth by investing in solid, undervalued stocks but not sure where to start, I created the Value Stocks Investing Master Course to teach you how to identify great companies, make smart investment decisions, and build a portfolio that lasts. Click the link in the description and pinned comments to get the course today and take control of your financial future. Now let us move to the second company on our list, GE Vernova, ticker symbol GEV. GE Vernova is a global energy technology company that focuses on power generation, grid infrastructure, and energy transition solutions. The company was formed when General Electric separated its energy businesses into a standalone enterprise, creating a company fully dedicated to power and electrification. What makes GE Vernova particularly interesting in the nuclear energy story is its deep experience in reactor technology and nuclear engineering. The company has been involved in nuclear energy for decades. Through its nuclear segment, GE Vernova has helped design, support, and service nuclear reactors that generate electricity for millions of homes around the world. Nuclear reactors are among the most complex engineering systems ever built. They require extraordinary precision, extensive regulatory approval, and decades of technical experience. This creates extremely high barriers to entry. Utilities and governments cannot simply hire a new company to build or service nuclear reactors. They rely on organizations with deep engineering expertise, proven safety records, and long operating histories. GE Vernova is one of the few companies that meets those requirements. That history gives the company credibility when new nuclear projects are proposed. But the long-term opportunity for GE Vernova goes beyond maintaining existing reactors. One of the most exciting developments in nuclear energy right now is the push toward advanced reactor technology. Advanced reactors are designed to improve safety, reduce construction costs, and simplify deployment compared with traditional nuclear plants. Traditional nuclear power plants are extremely expensive and time-consuming to build. Large-scale projects often take a decade or more to complete and require billions of dollars in capital investment. Advanced reactor designs aim to solve many of these problems. Some designs incorporate passive safety systems that reduce the risk of accidents. Others use modular construction techniques that allow components to be manufactured in factories and assembled on site. These innovations could significantly reduce construction timelines and costs. GE Vernova is actively involved in developing and supporting next-generation nuclear technologies. If these advanced reactors become widely adopted, companies with the engineering capabilities to design, build, and maintain them could see significant demand for their expertise. And GE Vernova has the experience to participate in this transition. Another important part of GE Vernova's business involves providing services and upgrades for existing nuclear plants. Many nuclear reactors around the world were originally built decades ago. As these plants age, they require ongoing maintenance, engineering support, and modernization to continue operating safely. Companies with nuclear expertise can generate significant recurring revenue by providing these services. GE Vernova has extensive experience supporting nuclear facilities through maintenance programs, equipment upgrades, and operational improvements. This creates long-term relationships with utilities that operate nuclear plants. When utilities invest billions of dollars in nuclear infrastructure, they typically partner with companies they trust for decades. That kind of relationship creates a durable business model. But GE Vernova's opportunity is not limited to nuclear energy alone. The company is also deeply involved in broader energy infrastructure. As global electricity demand rises, utilities must upgrade power grids, build new transmission networks, and improve energy management systems. GE Vernova develops technology that helps utilities generate, transmit, and manage electricity more efficiently. This gives the company exposure to multiple layers of the energy transition. Nuclear power provides reliable baseload electricity. Renewable energy contributes variable generation. Modern power grids must integrate both while maintaining stability. Companies that build the infrastructure connecting these systems are essential to the future of energy. GE Vernova sits right at that intersection. Another factor strengthening GE Vernova's long-term prospects is the growing demand for electricity driven by artificial intelligence. AI data centers require enormous amounts of power. Training advanced artificial intelligence models consumes vast quantities of electricity. Data centers must operate continuously and require reliable energy supply. Intermittent power sources like solar and wind cannot always provide the consistent electricity required for these facilities. Nuclear energy offers a solution. Because nuclear plants operate continuously, they can provide the stable electricity supply that large-scale data centers require. If technology companies increasingly turn toward nuclear-powered electricity contracts, companies involved in nuclear infrastructure could see additional growth opportunities. GE Vernova's technology portfolio positions it to participate in that demand. Financially, the company operates across several segments that contribute to revenue growth. The power segment focuses on energy generation technologies. The grid segment focuses on transmission and distribution infrastructure. And the nuclear segment contributes specialized engineering capabilities that support reactor operations and upgrades. This diversified structure gives GE Vernova exposure to multiple growth drivers within the global energy transition. Another advantage for GE Vernova is its massive installed base of power generation equipment around the world. Utilities that already operate GE-related equipment often continue working with the company for maintenance, upgrades, and new projects. This creates long-term relationships that generate recurring service revenue. Service revenue is particularly valuable in industrial technology businesses because it tends to produce stable cash flow. Instead of relying solely on new equipment sales, companies like GE Vernova can generate income by supporting equipment already in operation. When nuclear plants operate for 40 or 50 years, service agreements can last for decades. This type of long-term engagement strengthens customer relationships and provides predictable revenue streams. But the most important factor for GE Vernova in the nuclear energy story is its role in enabling the next generation of nuclear power. If advanced reactor technologies become widely deployed, utilities will need companies with engineering experience to help design, construct, and maintain these systems. Because GE Vernova has spent decades working in nuclear engineering and power generation, it already possesses many of the capabilities required to participate in that future. And if nuclear energy expands globally as governments pursue carbon reduction goals and reliable electricity supply, companies involved in reactor technology and energy infrastructure could benefit significantly. This combination of nuclear expertise, energy infrastructure capabilities, and exposure to growing electricity demand makes GE Vernova a fascinating company to watch over the next decade. But the nuclear ecosystem includes another critical layer that many investors overlook. Mining uranium provides the fuel, engineering firms design the reactors, but someone still has to manufacture the highly specialized components that allow nuclear systems to operate safely. These components require extraordinary precision and must meet some of the most demanding safety standards in the world. Very few companies have the facilities and expertise required to produce them. And that brings us to the third company on this list. This company operates in a part of the nuclear industry that many investors rarely think about, but it is absolutely essential to the entire system. The company specializes in the engineering, manufacturing, and servicing of highly specialized nuclear components that power both national defense systems and commercial nuclear reactors. BWX Technologies, ticker symbol BWXT. BWX Technologies occupies a unique position within the nuclear ecosystem because it operates at the intersection of national security, advanced engineering, and nuclear energy infrastructure. One of the most important parts of BWX Technologies' business is its role in supporting the United States Navy's nuclear propulsion systems. The U.S. Navy operates nuclear-powered submarines and aircraft carriers that rely on compact nuclear reactors for propulsion. These reactors allow vessels to travel for long periods without refueling and provide the strategic endurance required for modern naval operations. Designing and manufacturing the components that power these reactors requires extremely specialized expertise. BWX Technologies is one of the primary companies responsible for producing these nuclear reactor components and nuclear fuel systems for the U.S. Navy. This creates a highly durable business model. Government defense programs tend to operate on extremely long timelines. Naval vessels remain in service for decades, and the reactors that power them require ongoing support, maintenance, and engineering services. Because of this, BWX Technologies benefits from long-term government contracts that provide consistent revenue. These contracts also create enormous barriers to entry. Producing nuclear propulsion systems for military vessels requires advanced manufacturing capabilities, regulatory approvals, and security clearances that take years to obtain. Very few companies in the world have the qualifications necessary to operate in this environment. BWX Technologies has built these capabilities over decades. This creates a powerful competitive moat, but the company is not limited to defense applications. BWX Technologies also participates in the commercial nuclear power sector. Commercial nuclear plants require extremely precise components that must meet strict safety standards. Reactor pressure vessels, specialized fuel assemblies, and other nuclear systems must be manufactured with extraordinary precision. BWX Technologies has developed facilities capable of producing these types of components. As nuclear power projects expand, the demand for companies that can manufacture and service these systems is likely to increase. This gives BWX Technologies exposure to both defense and commercial nuclear markets. Another area of opportunity for BWX Technologies is the development of advanced nuclear technologies. Like many companies in the nuclear sector, BWX Technologies has been exploring the potential of small modular reactors and other next-generation nuclear systems. Small modular reactors could transform how nuclear power is deployed. Traditional nuclear plants require enormous construction projects that take years to complete. Small modular reactors can be built in factories and assembled on site, which may dramatically reduce construction time and cost. If these technologies become widely adopted, companies capable of manufacturing reactor components and supporting deployment will play an essential role. BWX Technologies already has many of the engineering and manufacturing capabilities required for this transition. Another interesting aspect of BWX Technologies is its expansion into medical and industrial nuclear technologies. The company produces medical isotopes that are used in diagnostic imaging and cancer treatment. These isotopes are critical to modern healthcare and are used in millions of medical procedures each year. By expanding into these markets, BWX Technologies has created additional growth opportunities beyond traditional nuclear power projects. Financially, the company benefits from a combination of stable government contracts and growth opportunities in commercial nuclear markets. Defense-related nuclear programs provide a reliable base of revenue. Commercial nuclear projects and advanced reactor technologies provide the potential for long-term expansion. This balance between stability and growth is one of the reasons many investors find the company attractive. Another advantage for BWX Technologies is the extremely high barrier to entry within its industry. Manufacturing nuclear components requires specialized facilities, highly trained engineers, and strict regulatory compliance. Building this kind of capability takes years of investment and experience. As a result, only a small number of companies globally can produce the types of nuclear systems that BWX Technologies manufactures. This creates a protective moat around the business. When governments or utilities need nuclear components or engineering services, they typically turn to companies that already have proven expertise. BWX Technologies has spent decades establishing that reputation. When you step back and look at the broader nuclear ecosystem, it becomes clear how these three companies fit together. Cameco supplies the uranium fuel that powers nuclear reactors. GE Vernova contributes reactor technology and energy infrastructure that converts nuclear fuel into electricity. BWX Technologies manufactures the specialized nuclear components and systems that allow these technologies to operate safely and reliably. Each company occupies a different but essential position within the nuclear supply chain, and as nuclear energy expands to meet rising global electricity demand, businesses operating in these critical positions could benefit from long-term growth. Energy systems are evolving rapidly. Countries around the world are searching for ways to generate reliable electricity while reducing carbon emissions. Renewable energy will continue to grow, but many experts believe nuclear power will play an increasingly important role in maintaining stable energy grids. Because nuclear plants provide consistent baseload power, they can complement renewable energy sources that fluctuate depending on weather conditions. As governments invest in nuclear power and extend the life of existing reactors, companies involved in the nuclear supply chain may see rising demand for their products and services. Cameco, GE Vernova, and BWX Technologies each represent a different layer of this ecosystem. One controls the fuel supply, one builds and services energy infrastructure, one manufactures the highly specialized nuclear systems that support both civilian and defense applications. If nuclear power becomes a larger part of the global energy mix over the next decade, these companies could play important roles in that transition, and that is why they are worth paying attention to as long-term investments. If you want exclusive stock tips, in-depth analysis, real-time trade alerts, and free investing guides, join the Stocks Galore Patreon today and take your investing game to the next level. Our members get full in-depth analysis on most of the stocks mentioned here. Head over to patreon.com/stocksgalore and become part of our growing community of smart investors. Link is in the description. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these three companies do you think has the strongest long-term advantage in the nuclear energy ecosystem? Do you believe the uranium supplier Cameco has the biggest opportunity, or do you think the infrastructure and engineering capabilities of GE Vernova or BWX Technologies create a stronger competitive moat? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do not forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you do not miss the next important investing update. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.